Oh, to Jesus I surrender all. To Him I freely give. I will ever and trust in His presence daily. I surrender all. I surrender all. To Thee, my blessed Savior, I surrender all. To Jesus I surrender humbly at His feet I bow. Worldly pleasures all forsake and take. With Jesus, take me now. To Thee, my blessed Savior, to Jesus I surrender. Make me Savior, let me feel the Holy Spirit moving all outward mind. Surrender all. A group of individuals, Charlie, Chips, Romaine, and Quentin, Paulette, and myself, Damien, and Rihanna, for 3 Sundays at my office, sat down to envision the possibility of a school. When we had finished the series of meetings, we were so scared with what was created that we gently tiptoed away because we did not know how. But God. In 2015, the dream had faded, but Metro was born. But God. Because whilst we were not sure of what that future was going to look like, God was certain of what the future was going to look like. When we moved by faith into this establishment, a few of us looked and said, but could this not be the place in which God has designated for His work to begin? But we had no idea how, much less how we could even afford to take on this whole establishment, but God. In January of 2018, Paulette and I found ourselves in Washington, D.C. at the General Conference offices with one of our good friends, Dr. Jeff Brown. And we shared with him the dream and the vision of Metro. And that's where we left it. But then I got a call from Dr. Brown who says, "Do you know a Zuki Ntoli?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Do you know that he sits on the General Conference Executive Committee?" I said, "No." I have known Zuki to be an international evangelist. I know him to be a property businessman, an architectural business that he has used to further the gospel, but I did not know that he sits on the General Conference Executive Committee, but God. The next thing I know is that Zuki and I are meeting up with a few others, and he sends a letter from the General Conference recognizing the work that we're doing here at Metro and encouraging us to begin to apply for funding for the purposes of seeing how we can secure this property. But God, while we are yet speaking, while we are yet speaking. And so we met with Zuki last week and we shared some of the ideas. And then we had a conference call with Damien, myself, and Zuki Paulette. And he then said, "We need the architectural plans because we need to design something to present to the General Conference." Now, if you know anything about what it costs to put architectural drawings together for something of this magnitude and significance, you would quell in your boots, but God. Zuki said, "Don't worry. My company will take care of it. It will cost you nothing." Somebody say, "Don't worry." And so the next question was, well, we got the plans, but the plans, from what I understand, were so old and so archaic that to lift off what we needed would be difficult. Zuki turned around and says, "Is there any way we could get a drone to take an aerial picture of this whole property?" I said, "I don't know anybody who has that, but this is a young church and they are technical to the death. Let me call Rufi." Rufi said, "I don't know, but I know a man, but God." But God, but God. So a drone is arriving tomorrow. Somebody said, I said, well, we need pictures as well. We need pictures as well. And so I thought, well, there are many young artists in this place. Let me call Alroy. I know there's many. Alroy, could you take pictures of the establishment for us? He said, "When, Elder?" I said, "As soon as possible. I came this morning. The pictures have been taken." But God. So I say this to say, we still have no money, but we have a vision. And God planted that vision in our hearts in 2014. And now, today, again, Elder Crowley will be here to speak to us. And he's not here by accident, but by divine providence, because he's leaving to the General Conference Executive Committee annual conference on Thursday or Wednesday. This is a journey, my friends, which is going to demand a serious amount of faith. But if you look on the walls, what started Metro was the words of Ellen White that said, "Go forward." I want you to read that when you leave here, because that is the driving philosophy of Metro. Zuki and his wife Palessa and their children are here today. And we thank you once again for coming to minister to us. And as the praise team come to prepare our hearts and our minds, it is our prayer that show me your face.
praise that you always offer us. You know, Metro's praise, beautiful. You worship God. Just put it somewhere in a very wonderful way. Here, we praise you for that. We thank you for that. And you know, I have applied to be a member of the praise and worship team. My application was denied. Brother, my good friend Alex, he stood here and he said, all those who want to join the praise and worship team must come. I went to him and he said in not so many words, I am too old. I said, man, I can do an audition. I can do what brother, that's always here. I can try. I said, no, for you. There's only one way you can make it to the praise and worship team. You've got to be able to do if worship. Do you know worship group? This man. If worship is some dance that these young people do, while they dance, they go down. I'm going to show you. They go down to, I'm the preacher, to pray. But just as you're about to close your eyes, they're up. So it's that quick. It's like down and, So I've been practicing. It was. Come next Sabbath. Well, it's not going to be next Sabbath. But another Sabbath when I preach here, I'm still practicing, Alex, because I want to sing with you in that worship. I have managed the first step to go down. Coming back somewhere. If you are we on? You're still busy, eh? Okay, we will have some time while if you try together. I'm here with my kids. Oh man, I'm here with my children today. My wife, my wife, and the twins, the twins, the last ones, they are 5. So you've seen them many times. I want to introduce to you my older kids. My firstborn, Inam, come stand, baby. She's at university, that's my firstborn, Inam. My son, Lelam, is busy with the technology there. And Lucanio sitting next to her sister there. Yeah, and then the twins, which makes it 5 children. The twins are the last borns for now. I am an African man, as you can see. I am still a Jenny, and I love God. He said, you remember what he said? Not just be fruitful, but what? So when you hear me introduce others, and you see, we went to visit Brother Aaron, man, and his kids are grown and they're gone, and he's like, this house is quiet, just the 2 of you. So I'm making more, man. I don't want to sit alone. So those big ones are gone. We've got the twins. When they grow up a little bit, boom. So now you know how long it's going to take. Today, I've got this is how long the service is going to be. Let me even get this out so that we can have a good time in the Lord together. All right, Riffy is on, and we started part 1 with centers of influence, and I praise God for this center of influence. I have had the opportunity and privilege to conduct and build and participate in many centers of influence around the world, and I've come back home and I've circled the Sentin area. There's about 8 churches in the Sentin area. Between the TOC and the Northern Conference, there's about 8 established churches, and there is no school, there is no clinic there is no health facility. But there are 8 churches, each of them with children who need this education, and elderly people, young people who need the clinics, who need the psychologists. We need all these services, and God has said we must put up these facilities. Church, I said last time, is not just about membership, but is about discipleship. You are not called to be a member, but you are called to be a disciple. You are called to participate. You got to be a person of influence for you to be participating in building centers of influence. We cannot build the centers of influence without influential people. You are called to influence. You are called to stand out. Do you get this? You're not just called to be a part, but you're called to stand out. You know, if you don't stand for anything, you are going to fall for everything else. You've got to stand out. You must come to Metro, and they must say, there is somebody who has come here. Don't just enjoy that whole visitorship thing. Oh, you're a visitor. Yeah, I'm a visitor. Again, you're a visitor. I am a visitor. Come here. Look. See. Start to do your purpose in this place. You know, of all the churches I have visited, there is not one like Metro that puts the platform for people to perform. There is none like you, and I praise God for what you have done to open the platform so that people can be who God has made them to be. This is the one church where you can do that, and I want you to take that challenge. I want you to perform. You know, I'm thinking now about people of influence, about these boys, because you see, Metro puts the opportunity, it opens the platform. But there are these boys who are caught, who are in captivity, who the king of Babylon has come to their hometown and has captured, seized all of Judah, takes them to Babylon. You remember what I'm talking about, Daniel 1? As they get there, in captivity, the conditions are not conducive for you to be a disciple, because you are in prison. The conditions are not conducive, but we see these boys stand up in a way that nobody has ever stood, and God opens up doors that nobody thought could be opened in captivity. How much more in a place like Metro, where they place everything at your disposal and say, choose what God has planted in your heart and participate, whether it be financial, resources, speaking, anything, technology. Metro opens up the opportunities. Now when I look at Daniel and I say, hey, this boy, how does, you know, my favorites of all spirit of prophecy is for us to use our brains, right? Yes. God requires that steps to Christ, page 109. Of all spirit of prophecy, this is my favorite quote. God requires us to use our mental capacities. God requires us to think. And the study of the Bible will elevate our minds and strengthen our minds so that we can have the capacity to think. So I want you to think with me as we walk this journey today. So I'm thinking these boys are in captivity. The conditions are terrible. You want to please your captors. You know how people get out of jail? What's the word? Goodwill, out of goodwill. Yeah. They've done well. So you want to please those who have captured you. But these boys, they stand up. Out of the many, look at the first way they stand out, and this is my first point to you. Out of the many that were captured, the king in verse 3 says, choose for me out of that bunch of Israel Choose those who are quick to learn, those who are smart, those who look fine, those of royal blood, those who are learned, those who are easy to teach. I mean, that's sad. That you just mingle, you don't want to shine, you don't want to pull what God has done in you. You just want to disappear, such that even the devil does not want you. And so they are chosen for this work that the king will do 3 years down the line. And he says to them, to his people, train these guys for 3 years. And he gives them special, you know the story, right? Special food. Now you are in captivity. You are given a favor. You're going to eat from the royal food in prison. That's a favor. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. But these boys stand out and they say, listen, we thank you for the offer, but no thanks. Now, how many of us in these job opportunities that we get there, we can realize when this is not from God? That this good looking favor is leading only to destruction. This is the devil's work. This is the devil's work. So they stand out. And they say no. You see, why many of us don't stand out is because standing out requires activity. You cannot be lazy if you're going to stand out. You've got to be sharp. You've got to know that when you stand out, all eyes are upon you. Now you have to perform that which you said you will do. And so many of us decide, no, I'd rather just be a member. You know, this church has been designed like this, so small. Not by mistake. Because the leaders are requiring those only who will stand out. This church is not to be filled with members. It's going to be filled with soldiers, people who are ready to act and work. Everybody who comes in. So there's not many of those. That's why this is not a big church. It's so that whoever comes here has a role to play. They get fed and they go out to act their part. But most of us are lazy. Lazy. Comes the men's, the king's servant, when Daniel says to him, listen, we won't eat this food, we want to eat the vegetables. And then this guy says, listen, you're going to get me in trouble. You know the story, right? I'm going to get killed if you look slim and you don't look as healthy as the other guys. So then Daniel says, no. You won't get in trouble. Give us the food and test us. And this is the part we don't like, the testing part. Test. This which I'm saying is real. Test me. Only for 10 days. You know, they were given 3 years to go through this training. This says, test us just for 10 days. Now, there's few words you mustn't forget. Chapter 1, verse 8. Daniel purposed in his heart. He made up his mind not to defile himself with what the king had placed on the table. Made up his what? God requires man to use his thinking capacity. Let this mind that was in be also in you. You need the mind of Christ for you to be able to transcend to the next level. It is a crazy mind. So, test us. 10 days. And after 10 days comes, they get tested. And of course, you know the story, they passed the test. Okay? So, they were true to what they said. Now, by the way, all these people who do the Daniel fast because they want to go slim, that's not the Daniel fast. You don't lose weight with the Daniel fast. Because at the end of the 10 days, these guys were fatter. That's what the Bible says. Than the rest. Okay, so just as a by the way, that's not a slimming diet, the Daniel fast. Once you do the Daniel fast, you must be fatter, more nourished. That's another version. Nourished, beautiful. They were shining. Life application. Here's life application. There are many people who come to me. They have stopped now. So I want to warn you also that those who have come have stopped. Who come and say, I need prayers. Listen to this. This is very key. And I need you to think as I'm talking to you about it. We need prayers. Okay, this is an individual. I need prayers because I have quit my job. Because they want me to work on Sabbath. Okay? Did you get that? Yeah. Sounds good, right? I have quit my job because they want me to work when? On Sabbath. You've got the backdrop of Daniel here, right? So now you know where I'm going. And you know why they don't come to me anymore. Because the first thing I say is, first of all, if you want prayer, don't come to me after you have quit. Because then what do you want me to do? You have already quit. Come to me when you still have the problem. Because this is my solution. When you come and you say, they want me to work on Sabbath, I say, praise God. Because now you have an opportunity to stand out in that place. This is lazy thinking that says, oh, they want you to work on Sabbath. Oh, I quit. I'm going. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I have called some of the employers where these people had quit. And they told me, the employer told me that, thank God those people of yours are gone. They were lazier than anybody else anyway. So when they came with the Sabbath excuse, it was, please take your Sabbath and go away. That is not what God has called you to do. God has called you to stand out in that workplace. You purpose in your heart, verse 8, that you will not defile yourself by working on the Sabbath. And you are going to look your employer in the eye and say, give me 10 days. Give me 1 month. I will work Monday to Friday and test me. See if I will not perform more than the people here who are working on the Sabbath. Don't be using the Sabbath as an excuse. Come on, man, we need to pray for many things. We don't need to pray for that. We need to pray for you that you pass the test. Now, what it means is that if the job starts at 8 to 5, you are going to work longer hours. You are going to be intelligent. You are going to be very strict. You are going to be diligent. By the end of the 5 days before the Sabbath comes, you will be asking the employer, is there anything else I can do? Because I need to go and worship now. Then this one will ask, just like they did with Daniel. Because at the end of it all, when when the story ends in chapter 1 of Daniel, the king tested them and found them to be 10 times more brilliant than anybody else. And their diet, they got their diet that they wanted. So you will get your Sabbath off, but you've got to work for it. Is that okay? Yes. And if we have intelligent, we have people who stand out like that at the workplace, we have disciples and men. Because then those bosses will want to know, who is this God of yours? You know, the king later, the other 3 boys challenged him, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You know the story about them getting into the fire and all of that. When they come out of the fire, because they did 2 things. And you go to worship God, if I've got an echo, you're going to worship God in spirit and in truth, okay? You understand? They're paying so much money for a block there. Oh, they are crazy. They must be full foolish. And when they use the word foolish, the scripture came to me that says the things of God are foolishness to those who are perishing. But to us, it is the power of the gospel. You are going to see the power of the gospel. The power of the gospel is going to be seen by those who accept to be foolish in the eyes of the world. Yes. Those who accept to be crazy. I said to them, if they're only paying for one building, that's not crazy enough for me. Until I sat with Aaron and he told me the whole picture, the whole vision about how we want to purchase. Did you hear me say we? Yeah. That was not a mistake. How we want, because I joined that kind of crazy. The whole complex as an Adventist village. That will have schools, preliminary right up to university, health centers, gym, and everything in this place. Man, this is something that has never been seen. It is not going to be done by members. It will be done by disciples. It will not be done by people who just conform. It will be done by those who stand out and say, we have a purpose in this world. The world must end. Did you hear what I said? Yes. That's what you are called to do. Right. To end this world. That's right. I don't think you are understanding this. You are called to end the world. Yes. Finish it. The world must finish so we can go home. All these rapes and murders and all this cruelty. Every Sabbath we're going to be crying about the evil that happens in our society. The only solution, the world must end. And for the world to end, the gospel must be preached. You remember? The gospel must, Matthew 24:14. The gospel must be preached and the world will end. For the gospel to be preached in an environment like this one, a secular environment like this one, where there is so much competition, where the word competes with everything else, you have got to lift up your socks. You're not just going to do that old-time religion. Not anymore. But you will keep that old-time God. Because he's relevant in every phase. And this is what we are talking about. This is what I want to encourage you to do at Metro. Let me see if we can move on. This is slide number 1. Why you don't remind me? We need to move. This is 2. So you cannot be a mathematician, because then you're going to be depressed. Because there's 15 of these slides. And if I took that much on one, don't calculate. Don't be a mathematician. Why is it not showing nicely? But you know the scripture, Luke chapter 4:18. You've got to have a purpose. So our Father, our Lord Jesus comes, he has a purpose. And his purpose is to do what? To preach to the poor, to give sight to those who cannot see. That is medical, right there. Yeah? We need doctors. We need a center of influence that will have doctors who will do There's the spiritual and there's the truth, remember? Yeah. So we need, the word must be preached to give sight to the spiritual side of things. But we still need the doctors who will come at Metro and give, restore sight to those who cannot see. Of course, release the prisoners and all of this. But what I like about this is what Jesus is purpose. But what I like is what he says about us. Because you see, he comes, he does his purpose, he fulfills his purpose. Then as he leaves, he says these words. Truly I tell you, if you believe in me and you believe in what I've done, you also, that's John 14 verse 12, can do the things I have done. Now you know that this Bible cannot contain all the things that Jesus has done. But he says you can do all of them. And you can do greater things. Yes. Greater things. You can do bigger things than what I have done. So if you are talking about purchasing this whole property at 80 million rand, and Jesus is the one who fed 5,000 people using 2 feet, what did you use? And I told you those fish, I told you about those fish. They always draw these big fish. Anybody from Zambia? All the way up north. You know the small fish that you guys eat there? Tapele. Tapenta. You know that fish that you eat there? I bet you that was the fish the boy. What can be carrying? This was just his lunch. It was his what? And with that, Jesus fed 5,000. What can he do with your lunch? You know, I'm sure that boy, when they took his lunch, he did tell them, I'm going to give you this, but really it doesn't make any sense. That of all the things you can do, you're going to come and take a child's food. Just to show how God will use anybody and any resource, as long as you're willing to give it to Him. You will do greater things. Let's move on. Let's show them we can be quick. You are representatives of God. God did not choose, listen to this, He did not choose, this is Acts of the Apostles. He did not choose angels who have not fallen. But He chose human beings, men and women of like passions, with those they seek to save. Christ Himself took on humanity to reach humanity. So He took people, you remember the story of the eunuch, Philip. Philip goes and preaches to the eunuch. But the angel comes and tells Philip that, Philip, please go and preach to the eunuch. But the truth of it is that the angel could have gone straight to the eunuch. You get the point? But no, the angel comes to Philip and says, listen, there is one who is just like you there, who needs salvation. We need you to go and talk to them. God is the one who spoke this world into fruition. He's the one who spoke this world into existence. He is the one who put things together. He can speak it, but He has given us a privilege so that when they look at us and they see our good works, Matthew 5, they will praise God in heaven. When they see your what? Good works. God gives you an opportunity to shine so that they can praise Him. So while we understand the role that we have at work, the role you have at home, I plead with the church that you understand the role you have in this world. Now look at Christian service. It says, and I say this to the leaders of the church should be a training school for Christian workers. This is not a place where you must always be entertained. How long are we going to be entertaining you guys, man? Come on. Oh, church was nice today. Oh, church was bad today. Oh, the music was bad. Oh, today church was good. That can't always be the response when people get out here. This is a place where you come and receive your marching orders. I will say this as long as I live. This, like a fuel station, it is not a place where we look forward to seeing you coming here. Don't matter. You don't even need to be buying new dresses when you are coming here. Because, we want to look good. We don't really look. It is necessary that you come. It is prudent that you come. You've got to come. So whichever way you come, it does not matter. We want you here, but we look forward to your performance out there, doing what you were trained here to do. Members carefully selected. Did you hear that? Carefully selected and equipped will transform the church into one of the pillars of the community. Carefully selected. Now, at least for God's work, not by the devil. See, if the devil don't want you, at least we want you. Carefully selected. Those who stand up, those who stand out, we will select. And then leaders, you equip them. This is your role. Every Sabbath you come here. This is not about making all the beautiful. This is about equipping the members to be pillars in this community. Like I said, and I say many times and many times again, the owner of a Ferrari does not look forward to filling up the tank of a Ferrari because it chows a lot of fuel. He looks forward to the Ferrari performing out there. But it's necessary that the Ferrari must come to the garage and get filled up. But what we don't want is the Ferrari full of fuel and parts at the church. Come next summer. It's like you take a circle around the garage, fill you up, go around, come back, and you are back here again. The fuel is still full. You've got to get out there and burn out that fuel. Whatever God has put in you here, you've got to get out there, use it all, so that you come here and you are dry. You seek the Savior. You seek leaders. The Bible says, when the spirit of prophecy, when the right person with the right gifts has the right authority. Right person with the right gifts has the right authority. I know we've got many issues with authority. I want to give you one text that you must never forget. Believe in God. This is Chronicles 20:20. 2 Chronicles 20:20. Believe in God and you will be established. Believe in his prophets and you will prosper. This is the difference. God will establish you. God has established the metro now. That, this is God. This is not you. This is not everybody else. God has established metro. Now the next is for the members, the disciples, to believe in the vision of the prophets. And that word in the Hebrew represents leaders, elders, those who are in leadership. Believe in them. And you will prosper. You will move to the next level. Do your part. Do your part as a leader. Don't shortchange God's people, because you will be punished way more than them. Mingle with the people, meet their needs, and invite them to follow. Did you hear the sequence? You mingle with them. You just get there and you do nothing. Just mingle. And then you meet their needs. That's what a center of influence is all about. It asks the question, what do the people in this place need? Meet those needs. And then you can invite them to follow. Matthew 10, as you go out preaching, as you go out preaching, as you do the preaching part, don't forget this, heal the sick. There must be a hospital in this place. There must be a health center in this place. As we preach, we must be healing the sick. It is our command. As we preach, we must cleanse the sick, we must raise the dead, we must cast out the devils. This is why Jesus at one point is very disappointed with his disciples, because he has walked with them for so long, he has trained them for so long. This is us. Every Sabbath we come to church, we get filled up with fuel, and now they get in a boat, and Jesus makes the statement, we are going to the other side. And then he sleeps. And this is a lake. You remember the story? We are just going to cross over. The words have been spoken. We are crossing over. Jesus has said the words. And then he sleeps. He says in retrospect, I will kind of, you can wake me up when we reach the other side. In the middle of a lake, I'm talking about that part that says cast out the devils. All right? In the middle of the lake rises a storm. The billows roar. The waves come up. And the disciples are saying, man, we are going to die. So they go and wake up Jesus. In the middle of a what? They were in the middle of a? The waves come up. You're still not thinking with me. This is not in the middle of an ocean. When have you ever seen waves in a lake? I'm talking about you casting out the devils. That is the demons. Some of the attacks you are going to get in Metro, you need to rebuke them. Because when Jesus stands, he's angry at his disciples, and then he rebukes the waves. That is the word used, rebuke. Now you only use this when you're talking to a devil. You don't rebuke the waves. You rebuke the devil that is causing the waves. There are some devils that you are going to face. You must rebuke them. Yourself. This is why Jesus says to them, you of little faith. Come on, how long have I walked with you? I've turned water into wine. I walked on water. I have fed 5,000. I have fed another 5,000. We have healed the sick. We've raised. Every time Jesus comes to a funeral, the funeral stops. The undertaker, Jesus is here, Lord, I'm not going to get paid. Because the coffin must go back. Jesus raises the dead. You have walked with me. You have seen this. And now I'm telling you, I've made the statement. I will meet you on the other side. God has made the statement, Metro, that you must purchase this area. He has made the statement. Now he'll meet you on the other side. The other side is when you tell him, we have purchased. What is next? And anything that rises in between, you rebuke it in the name of Jesus. Anything that rises up, this is not supposed to be here. We are in a lake here. Why are there storms like this in a lake? I've been to the biggest lakes in the world. I've never seen waves that can swallow a ship. Only the devil can do that. You rebuke that thing and you move on. People who stand out, people who believe, people. Now, I need to come on with it. The sanitary that's in our car is for us and the children. But he sacrifices all of this for this stranger. Then he takes the stranger, puts him in the car, in the Mercedes, where there's white leather seats. Because you see, when you think of a dog, you think, oh no, that's not relevant to us. No, there's no donkeys now, but there are cars with white leather seats. He takes the guy, puts him in the white leather seat. Now, he changes direction, and this for me is where God becomes God. He changes direction. You came to Metro, you saw, you heard our vision. Has it come to you to change your direction? Or are you still walking the same way as if you cannot see what we are doing? Every day the leaders stand here, they tell you what we are on about, they tell you about the finances needed. Change direction and join where God has sent you to join. So he changes direction, takes this man to an inn, takes care of him. Look at the last part. Then he leaves and he says, now this is you and me. He says, listen, take care of him. I'm going. Of course, I'm sure you will be the wounds may take you longer to heal. You're going to spend more. I'm going to work and come back and pay you what I owe you. Now you don't get this. I am going to leave him here. But I know that this one, who was not my problem, who God has now made my problem, I'm going to go and work for them. I'm going to go and find business. I am going to find a job so that I can pay for this one to be healed. So it's a lifetime. It does not end with one shot. 90 days challenge cannot end when the 90 days end. Unless you have not seen the end of God. You see, we start by saying 90 days Because all we are saying is just like Daniel, test us for 10 days, but we will not end after 10 days. Don't be like, oh, thank God the 90 days is done. Oh, can I eat my money now? Then you've missed the point. The 90 days is the beginning of a journey. But because we want you to see the deliverance of God. You know, Elisha says to this boy of his, can you see anything in the sky out there? Because God has said it's going to rain. He says, no, it's as clear as day. That's you in the 90 days, month number, the first 30 days. You look out, no, there is no rain. You are suffering. In fact, all the problems, like she said, all the problems that you never thought of will come just at this when you begin the 90 days. And you know what? Why that happens? It's because now you have declared war with the devil. And so you need to rebuke that devil when those challenges come. You are at war. See, the devil does not mind as long as he has soldiers. Some soldiers of the devil come to church. The fact that you are at church, okay, let me use an illustration, a parable, you know, a story with a divine meaning. When a wheelbarrow enters a garage and you close the garage, when you open, it is still a wheelbarrow. The fact that it is a wheelbarrow in a place of a car does not change it to become it. So the fact that you come here in a place where there should be, and there is power. The Bible says that there was power. God was ready to deliver. But no one was getting delivered. Because people came with their wheelbarrow mentality. No one went in there saying, I want to become a car. I'm entering this garage because my purpose is to come out a car. When you enter that door, you can come as a wheelbarrow, but you must purpose in your heart that when you walk out of there, you will not be a wheelbarrow. When you start the 90-day challenge, when you enter the 90-day challenge, you purpose in your heart that when you finish that 90 days, you will not be the same again. It is your conviction. Jesus was ready to heal. There was power. No one was getting healed, at least as long as it is recorded. No one was getting healed until some people, now I want you to read this when you get home, until some people find a man who was lying on the street who could not get himself to the place where God was ready to heal. They find him and they say, you know what, we can run past him just like that pastor and get our healing, but we cannot leave this man here. So they use their thinking capacities and they build a stretcher. They put the man on the stretcher. They walk with him. You remember the story I'm talking about? When they get to the house where there was power, don't forget this, in this place there is power. There is God. You cannot walk out the same. We don't care actually where you come from when you get here. We care where you go after you have found Jesus. So when they get there, it is full. They look at the windows, it is full. There is no place until one. Just change the slide because I want to show them the next. Until one, move to the next one. Next. Look, this one. Until one. Look at that statement. Who is an architect? When men and women of business, farmers, mechanics, merchants, lawyers, when they become members of the church, they become servants of Christ. You hear that? Number two, although their talents may be entirely different, their responsibility, listen to that, to advance the cause of God with their personal effort and their means is no less than that of the ministers. I'm talking about who? Farmers, mechanics, merchants. So they are walking and they look around the place. There is no way this man can be saved. They don't give up. One who is a contractor. looks at the building and says, if we open the roof there, there is a beam, there is a structure, there is a column. If we open that part, the building will not fall and we can lower the men in. This is somebody who used their talents, their resources. This was not a pastor who did that. Let me show you something. Go back. I'm closing there. Play nicely. Because, we come from my father used to go to the Methodist church, we see. And there's something they say, that means before the preacher preaches, there must be a song that is played. So when I hear this, it is ushering me in. To begin. Help us. No, we will do this another time. Help us, I want this one. Great work needs to be done in the cities, friends. And not only where churches have been established, but in places where the truth has not been fully represented. In this area where we are, the truth has not been fully represented. So if you're questioning Metro, you are in the right place where God wants you to be. Great work needs to be done. Number two, don't wait for something big to happen before you start. Don't wait for some costly budget to be provided, because it is not by might, nor by power, not by any of your means, but by the Spirit of the living God, that we will manage to do what God wants. And number three, Satan will confuse the plans. Satan will bring confusion. Rebuke him. Tell him, this is a lake. You're not supposed to be here. Why are you looking at waves in the lake? Rebuke him. This is the place of God. Devil, behind me, oh Satan. Number five, if pride and selfishness were laid aside only for 5 minutes, it would remove most difficulties. Most of the difficulties we face is because of pride and selfishness. Go to the next one. Let's finish. Only the 3. Ministers, and I talk to leaders with this one, who hover over churches are accomplishing little good for church members unless they teach, they encourage people to do practical missionary work. This is your job as leaders of Metro. Whenever you stand on this podium, you must train the members, you must equip the members to do practical missionary work. Every minister should know there is a greater work to be done than to repeat the same sermons again and again. Amen. You take a sermon from the boot here. Oh. I like the Adventist church. At least it has revolved. There were times when, go to the next one, I'm going to show you. Of course, Anna Knight, you know about Anna Knight. She was the first black missionary who went out. But I want to talk more about her another time. This one, right? Livia. This is the last. You can relax now. After this, you can switch off. Usher me in. We're going home. We're going to have to do another as time allows. We cannot do all this. Because today I really want people to think about the seriousness of what we spoke about last time. This is 2 Chronicles, and I'm talking about what lay members, which is what this room is filled with right now. 2 Chronicles 29 verse 35. This one you really get home. Listen, the priests were too few to skill all the burnt offerings. So the priests were too few, the pastors were too few, the evangelists were too few to do all the work of God. This is what this means. You are with me? Come on now, wake up. This is the last one. This is the last one. We are going home now. You are awake? Good. You see, if you don't wake up, I will not stop. They were too few to finish the work of God. So, their relatives, their friends, their neighbors, the lay members, the Levites helped them. You have a role to play, and your role is to help the ministers of this church. To do what? Help them to finish the work. Until the task was what? Was finished. and other priests. Oh, this is the part okay, you are very mature in Metro now. Now, got to be very mature with me here. Don't go and start talking about me to your pastors, but I'm reading the Bible. Until the task was finished, okay? They helped them throughout. They did not say, we're going to help you for 90 days. They didn't say, we're going to help you as long as I have a job. They helped them throughout until the task was finished. We have a task now, and it is to buy this whole property. Until that is finished, we need your help. You must do your part. And until the other priests had been consecrated. Now listen to the word of God. For the Levites had been more conscientious in consecrating themselves than the priests had been. Now, this is the part I want you to be very mature, because I don't want you to look down on the priests. But it is saying the members, the lay members, were ready to do the work. They had fasted, they had prayed, they had learned about what God wants to do. They had a vision that the pastors did not have. The priests were not ready to do what the lay members were ready to do. So I want to say to you, don't be discouraged, because sometimes you are going to go to the conference and you are going to present your plans in the conference and they will shut it down. They are not ready for it. They have not consecrated themselves as you have been. Continue with what God has built in you. With love. They are not your enemies. But you preach to them in love to bring them until they have been consecrated. So I was just saying, you know, in the Adventist church, there was a time when I would prepare to preach. I mean, I will fast, I will pray. I'm just a lay member, and I'm going to preach on Sabbath. And then some pastor, this was long ago, at least it doesn't happen. Some pastor who is just on holiday, he was just passing by. He was just passing by and he decides, I'm going to come to church, to Metro, where I'm supposed to preach, where I have consecrated. I have been fasting the whole week. He was in shorts the whole week because he was at the beach. Because it's on holiday. And he comes here and the members say, we cannot help you, you must sit down, the pastor must preach. That has happened to me twice. And I still know those pastors. I don't say look at me now, I say look at God. Verse 36, let's finish and go home. Or you can go eat. Hezekiah 36 says, Hezekiah and, not Hezekiah, 2 Chronicles. Hezekiah and the people rejoiced at what God had done because it was done quickly. That's the words you cannot see there. It was done quickly. It was finished quickly. The only way that work was finished quickly was because you and me took their part in the work of the gospel. If you don't take your part, we are going to sit here for a long time. Until you take your part, we will go home very soon. I really want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to take up that 90-day challenge. If you have not started, take it up. I will leave you with two last verses. I said that's the last slide. I didn't say the last verse. Two last verses for you to take up that 90-day challenge. If you have not begun, begin. There are two stories. You cannot forget this. I'm not even going to put them out there. You know them very well. But these, I would love for them to be our marching orders as Metro Mission. The first one talks about what God has done for us. The second one talks about our response to what we must do because of what God has done for us. John 3:16, you know it very well. You cannot forget, right? John 3:16. For God so loved the whole world that he did what? My friends, you cannot say you love and you don't give. Giving is an expression of love. For you to say you love Metro, and I've heard many of you, I heard about Metro before I came here. Oh, we love Metro. My question was, what have you given? So everybody stop telling me they love Metro. Your love, there must be a response to your love. Give. And when I talk about giving, I'm not a prosperity gospel preacher. Give your resources, give your time, give your energy, give your ideas. This is one church where the leaders are open. Bring your ideas. We have big things to do. For God so loved that he gave. John 3:16. The second one, 1 John 3:16. You see how easy they are? John 3:16, what God has done and what he did. 1 John 3:16, what you must do as a result of what God has done. This is now what love is. Because he gave his son for us, we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers. We ought to die. We must give until we have nothing. We must give until we die. That's what he did. He gave up to death. And 1 John 3:16 says that's what is expected of you. You cannot give sparingly. You cannot give just. You give until it hurts. And when it starts hurting, that's when God smiles at you. The way he smiled at Solomon. I need to show you that I'm finished. Because now I know you think this man is standing on the bush saying he's finished. You see where I am, I'm going to sit down. I'm showing you that I'm finished. Solomon, 1 Kings 3. You know the verse 5. God wakes Solomon up in the middle of the night and says, ask for anything and I will give it to you. I want God to wake you up in the middle of the night and say, ask for anything and I will give it to you. Okay? But how will you get there? Verse 1. And Solomon, because of his love for God, verse 2, went up Mount Nebo and sacrificed 1,000 bulls. Verse 3. And God. So this is 3, 4, and 5. Okay? If you are reading it. 1 Kings 3, 4, and 5. See, that man is in the Bible. So I've got to make sure I do it right. 3, 4, and 5. So verse 4. Verse 5. God wakes him up in the middle of the night. Here is the theology of it. Verse 1. Because of his love. The next verse, he gave 1,000 bulls. Verse 5, God responds. This is the theology. Levitical law says a king must give 1 bull. A person like me and you must give 1 sheep. A poor person must run and catch a bird, a dove, and give. That's all that's required. 1. So if you're still struggling with the tithe, we're long past that. We are into giving 99, no, 1,000. What is the 1,000? You are asked to give what? He gives 1,000. So what is that? 999. You are asked to give what? Solomon was asked to give 1 bull. And he said, God has done so much for me. He gave 1,000 bulls. 1,000. He gave all. He gave it all. And God could not sleep. I know the keeper of Israel does not sleep. That day he could not sleep even if he wanted to sleep. Because he saw his son. Because of love. It is love that made him do this. Because of that love, he gave that 999. And then God says to him, wake up, Mfundi. Wake up. You have done so well. And I want God to wake you up. And for God to wake you up, you've got to do your part. You've got to give your all. You've got to go way, way beyond. You've got to get to the crazy love for God. I want to pray with you. If you are sitting there and you say, Lord, I have not started the 99-day challenge. And listen, we are black people in my culture. And when we have visitors, they eat what we eat. So all these visitors who came here, you have eaten now what we eat here at Metro. So you also must participate in what we are doing. So when I talk about the 90-day challenge, I'm talking to you who she said, you may not have heard about it. It is a challenge that says, I am going to give to the cause of God here at Metro way more than what God has given to me. More than what God has. I'm going to give it all, even that which He's still going to give. I'm going to give it to the church and wait on God and see God call you and say, come, ask for anything and I will give it to you. If you have not started, you want to start, I want you to stand. If you are saying, I want to be a missionary in this certain area, I want to do my part, I want you to stand. If you want to say, I want to join Metro's vision, even if I'm not a member of Metro, but I love their vision in terms of schools, in terms of hospital, in terms of clinic health, I want to be a part of this vision. Stand with me. For when trouble strikes, many a times we think that you have abandoned us. But now we know that when we face those difficulties, it is only but a trap. It is only just a step for you, oh God, to bless us. For us to come even closer to you. So help us, Lord, to stick closer to the vision that has been born in the hearts and minds of the Metro Mission leaders. I want to pray for the leaders of this church who have taken upon themselves a mighty task, one that even the conference refused to take. They said, this is too much for us to bear. So if you guys want to do it, you can do it on your own. And they said, no, we will not do it on our own. We will do it with God on our side. And Lord, you have been with them up to this far. We ask that you carry them, oh Lord, throughout the vision until it is fulfilled. I, for one, want to partner with them. And there are many who have stood here today who are saying, with our resources, with our minds, with our talents, with our skills, we want to join hand in hand with Metro and fulfill the mission that you, oh God, have put in their hearts, so that when it is fulfilled, the clouds will be rolled back and you, oh Jesus, will come down to take us home in glory. Be with us as we leave this place, for we know that as soon as we walk out there, the devil will begin to challenge our decisions. We ask that you be merciful on us. Keep the devil away. We rebuke him. Every day they pass me by, I can see in their eyes empty people filled with pain, and who sharing life with the one through His love, our hearts can feel all the grief they bear. They must hear the words of love. Only we can share. People need love. Let us pray together. Father, we thank you once again for being such a good God to us. The songwriter has said, we need you, Jesus. We need you because you are a friend who sticks closer than a brother. We need you because you are God who has been everything and who always is close to us. We ask, oh God, that our convictions today, you will be closer to us so that we can see them through to fruition. Take care of us now as we leave this place. And I ask that you may bless the food that has been prepared. And I ask, oh God, that you may see to them who do not have anything to eat at this stage, that we may be also a witness and minister to their needs as Metro. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.